I have a dream. I have a dream. Famous, iconic words from a famous man named Yosef. It was Yosef. But maybe it wasn't the kind of dream that you have when you're half asleep on the couch. Maybe Yosef had a dream. The kind of dream you have when you're fully awake. Dreams can get mystical fast, and halacha, Jewish law, pulls us back to earth. Chazal, the classic sages of the Talmud, say a sharp line about dreams. Chalomos shav yidaberu, and lo ma'alim velo moridim. They don't lift you up, and they don't drag you down. Dreams mean nothing, says the Torah, even when they actually mean something. And here's a wild halachic dream case. A man dies, and his son has a dream. And in the dream it says, there's a bag of money under the oven, and it belongs to your neighbor. And he goes and he finds the bag of money under the oven. Spooky, convincing, looks like the dream is true. But does he have to give the money to his neighbor? The Jewish law says no. The money is yours to keep. You don't have to give it away. Because even if the dream gets some details right, it doesn't mean the whole story is reliable. So even if part of it comes true, you can ignore the rest. Because in money matters, you need to have hard evidence, and dreams cannot give that. So it's unreliable. There are two, actually, narrow places where even Jewish law takes dreams somewhat seriously. One, when a person dreams about something of an isur, a sin, that he accidentally ate non-kosher food or violated the Shabbos. In that situation, we go l'chumrah. We take the stricter route. We tighten up our behavior a bit, do a little tshuva, and check ourselves for improvement. Not because the dream is prophecy, but because when it comes to staying clean from sin, we'd rather be extra careful than extra careless. In another place where dreams are taken somewhat seriously, people have asked the Rebbe about their dreams. When a person who passed away appeared in a dream, and the person seemed disoriented or distressed, and the Rebbe's response was, check what you can check. Is someone saying Kaddish? Is the grave properly marked? And you give tzedakah, do a mitzvah in their memory. Because even if there's 1% evidence that the dream is hinting that a soul needs help, is in need, then out of compassion, we help them. Not because they're reliable. But aside from that, even the Rebbe says that our dreams are not reliable. They're usually stress, fear, anxiety, or a yetzer hara running wild at night. If so, why is it that the Torah spends so much time in this week's Parsha, Vayeishev, about dreams? If dreams don't matter, why are we talking about Yosef's dreams? So many dreams at so many times. So, interestingly, the language the Torah uses for dreams all throughout the book of Vayeishev talks about sleep. B'chalom halayla, at night, he woke up. He fell asleep, he woke up again. But when it comes to Yosef, there's no discussion about going to sleep. There's not a word about nighttime. So perhaps for Yosef, by Yosef, his dreams weren't just night visions or sleep visions. Maybe he actually dreamed them by day. And he carried those dreams into his real life. And he lived inside those dreams. Maybe Yosef's dreams were mission dreams, not bedtime dreams. He wasn't dreaming for entertainment. He was dreaming for direction. The sheaves standing together tall, his brothers, sheaves bowing before him, and the sun and the moon and the stars. It wasn't ego. It was responsibility. I meant to feed people. I meant to take care of people. I meant to serve Hashem in the real world, said Yosef. And that voice didn't just appear at midnight. It was with him everywhere, in the pit, in Potiphar's house, in prison, in front of Paro. How about your dream and my dream? The dreams that we're really responsible for are the ones for which we awaken. The ones that we wake up for. The holiest dreams in our lives are not the ones we sleep, are not the ones during our sleep. The holiest dreams in our lives are the ones that we wake up for. For some, that dream is working with youth. For others, it's helping seniors. For others, it's teaching Torah. For some, it's doing great in business to support other good things. For others, it's building community. For someone else, it's creating joy in other people's lives. You know what I'm talking about, because the real sign of a dream is what you would do if no one paid you. When you think about your thing, your Yosef dream, something inside of you lights up and whispers and says, "This is why I'm here." Most dreams are not consequential in our lives. There's one dream about this amazing man, young man, he's about 30-something years old in Israel. He's called the Yenuka, the prodigy, the young prodigy. He's a holy man, and because of his daytime experiences, his dreams are also more exciting and more realistic. So when he was 7, he told the story himself. I have it. I saw the recording. So when he was 17 years old, he learned the whole Torah, literally the whole Torah. And when he was 17 years old, he did a siyum, completion ceremony, on all the books of the Hasidic teachings that he had with him. That night, the Alter Rebbe, the Chabad Rebbe, first Chabad Rebbe, came to him and in a dream and said to him, he says, "Why didn't you do a siyum on my book, the Tanya?" Now the Tanya is the foundational Hasidic teaching, the Chabad Hasidus, written by the Alter Rebbe, that lays out the psychology of the soul and a practical path in serving God. So the Yenuka continued his dream, and he said, "I told the Alter Rebbe, I don't have your book." The Alter Rebbe said, "You will soon have my book, my Sefer." The next morning, literally just hours after this happened, says the Yenuka, "I went to shul, I davened, and the shamash, the gabbai, the caretaker of the shul, says, I want to give you something precious, something that you would appreciate very much." Reached into a bag and pulled out a Tanya, just like the Alter Rebbe spoke to him hours earlier in the dream. And the gabbai explained, "I used to give a class in Brooklyn, and the Rebbe, the Lubavitch Rebbe, appreciated it, and he gave me a Tanya to study. But I told him, Rebbe, I'm a Litvak, I don't study Tanya, I don't study these teachings. What will I do with this book?" The Rebbe said, "But they will come when you will know what to do with the Sefer. And that day is today. You," he said to the Yenuka, "you're studying Hasidus, you just made a siyum on Hasidus. Here's your Tanya." So this is a true story that just happened to us. For some people, dreams are real, more real than others. And segueing into the dream, the truth of the dreams, tonight is another dream night. It's Yud Tes Kislev, the 19th of the month of Kislev, the 19th day of the month of Kislev. It's the Rosh Hashanah for Hasidus, the birthday of the Hasidic light. The Alter Rebbe, the same Rebbe, was released from prison on this day from the Tsars in Tsarist Russia. They accused him of sending money for treason, but it was really for poor people in Israel. And Hasidus tells us that it really mirrored a heavenly challenge up in heaven, a trial. Like, should Hasidus, the deep soul-centered parts of the Torah, be revealed to the public? Should it be open and accessible to everyone? Even me, even simple Jews like me? And the verdict up in heaven was yes, release him. Let Hasidus shine. So tonight and tomorrow, don't stay home. Go to a local farbrengen, sit with other Jews, hear a story, sing a niggun. Let something warm inside of you. Warm up your heart. And if you truly can't go, try to find one online and ask yourself about your dream. What's my Yosef dream? What do I wake for? And take one step forward. Because Yosef teaches us that the dreams that change our lives are the ones that we live with open eyes. The dreams that change our lives are the ones that we wake for, not the ones that we have during our sleep. gratitude to Rabbi Shneur Ashkenazi for this beautiful teaching, beautiful insight. And tonight, because of Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus, we say, Good Yontiv, B'liman HaChassidus, B'darkei HaChassidus, B'kasei v'seichasim. We should be signed and sealed for a good year in learning Chassidus and the ways Chassidus. Take care. All the best.